You may have noticed a very specific type of Twitter post lately. VTubers shouldn't talk about politics. Streaming is supposed to be escapism. Why can't you people just play games and shut up? And it's almost always posted by a grown adult having what can only be described as a 2007 MySpace emotional crisis. So this little video isn't actually about politics, it's about why some people emotionally break when a comfort streamer turns out to be a human being. Most viewers don't consciously realize what a streamer is to them psychologically. They think they're watching entertainment. But the brain doesn't treat long-form live streaming like YouTube videos or TV shows. It treats it more like late-night radio. You're there regularly, your voice is familiar, the jokes land the same way every time, the lighting is soft, you greet them by name. And after a stressful day, the brain quietly files the stream under safe space where the world pauses for a while. And that is completely normal. Where it becomes a problem is when the brain stops categorizing the streamer as a person and starts categorizing them as a coping mechanism. VTubers intensify this effect dramatically because our avatars remove real-world friction. We don't visibly age. We don't come home from work in a uniform. We don't accidentally show a messy apartment. We exist in a consistent, controlled environment. Your brain stops reading the creator as a person I watch and starts reading them as a character that exists for me. The VTuber becomes psychologically closer to a comfort character than an entertainer, which is wonderful for community building and very dangerous for boundaries. Now imagine what happens when that comfort character expresses a value. Not policy, not elections, just a basic boundary like don't harass people in my chat. Bigotry isn't welcome here. Treat people with respect. The viewer does not hear a moderation rule. Their brain hears the outside world has followed me into my safe space. And suddenly, they feel something they weren't prepared for. Loss. Because the stream was never just entertainment to them, it was emotional shelter. And the moment the shelter reminds them that other people exist with needs and dignity, the illusion breaks. That emotional whiplash is what we're seeing on Twitter. It's not political disagreements. It's an entire coping structure collapsing. And here's the important part. Keep politics out of streaming almost never means politics. Because nobody complains when streamers praise soldiers in games, talk about crime, mock minorities, rant about wokeness. Those are political statements. But they feel normal to the viewer, so the brain labels them as background. The complaint only appears when the creator expresses a social boundary. So what no politics really translates to is, I don't want to be reminded that other people exist and I have to treat them decently. Streaming culture accidentally created a psychological contract. For years, the internet trained audiences to believe the audience owns the space. But a stream isn't a public square. A stream is a hosted living room. And when a host says, here are the rules of my house, some viewers don't interpret it as moderation, they interpret it as status loss. They're not being asked to leave, they're being asked to behave. And to a certain personality type, those feel identical. So the brain reacts the same way it would to social rejection, with anger. And now here's the part that confuses people the most. Why does a mild statement like, please don't be bigoted in my community, cause a multi-paragraph breakdown? It's because acceptance was misread as endorsement. They felt welcomed, so they assumed if you accept me, you must also accept my behavior. When the creator sets a boundary, the viewer doesn't experience moderation, they experience personal betrayal. And the bigger the emotional dependency, the bigger the tantrum. So no, VTubers didn't suddenly become political. What's actually happening is simpler. Creators are acting like hosts instead of vending machines, and some viewers are discovering the space they thought was their emotional escape was actually a shared room with other people in it. Healthy viewers adjust. Unhealthy viewers demand the world shrink back to the size of their coping mechanism. So when you see someone screaming, VTubers should just entertain me and stop having opinions, what they're really saying is, I was comfortable when you weren't real. And the moment a creator becomes real to them, they have to decide whether they want a community or just a fantasy they control. A good stream isn't escapism from reality. It's a place where reality is briefly kinder. And that only works if the people inside it treat each other like they exist.